Hi there and welcome. So there's been a major U-turn this week by Keir Starmer. He's reversed or partially reversed plans to implement changes to personal independence payments. Essentially what he said is that anybody that is currently in receipt of the benefit, there'll be no change for them, but the reforms will go forward for future claimants. Now, one of the obvious problems with this is that it's going to create a two-tier benefit system. Either Starmer thought that it was the right thing to do, that the benefit system was too generous for those who were disabled, or he didn't. What this kind of suggests is that he's conceded the principle that what he was planning to do was wrong, but he's willing to do it on those moving forward. Now, that is an incoherent position. I've said in the past, and I'll say it again, part of the problem that I have with this Labour government is that it is incoherent in terms of its communication. It's really not clear what Starmer's doing here in terms of the messaging he's sending, and the way that it's all been done, and if we include the U-turn that happened over winter fuel as well, is that the Labour Party have given a really clear indication, as I said in my previous video, of who they're against: disabled people and the elderly in those two cases. So all of the damage gets done in terms of perception, and then it looks like the government is forced to U-turn only when there's pressure from the backbenchers. This is really poor political communication, really poor political strategy. It's allowing the damage to be done, and then allowing further damage to be done by having to U-turn on the policy because it's politically unworkable. And I use that language advisedly because the reason that Labour have U-turned, and we need to be a bit cynical here, is not really because they've suddenly grown a conscience. What Labour MPs have realised, in light of terrible polling numbers and their mailbags back in their constituencies filling with emails and letters from constituents who are concerned about the direction of travel of the Labour Party, what they've realised is that there needs to be a change of course. But these people, these Labour MPs, if you remember, going back to 2024, there was lots and lots of selections in constituencies or parachuting in of members of Parliament on the right of the Labour Party, and many left-wing MPs, for various reasons, were booted out. Remember the whole controversy about Diane Abbott? She kept her seat in the end, but they really were trying to get rid of left-wing candidates at the last election and bring in candidates from the right. So these people, these Labour MPs on the right of the party, they haven't suddenly grown a conscience. This is them smelling the mood of the country, and they're changing their tune for political reasons, ultimately because they all want to keep their seat. Now, that shouldn't make anybody feel good about the direction of the Labour Party. In my view, there still hasn't been a fundamental rethink of the political strategy. The Labour Party need a very clear vision of who they're for and who they're against, and it can't be the case that Labour's message going into the next election is that we are against the elderly and against those who are disabled. And they've recovered some ground in that respect, but look, it's really a terrible position for Labour to be in. They're behind in the polls, reform are surging, and this is, it had to be done. But what the Labour Party need to do as we move into the second year of Labour's time in government is to come out with a clear plan, a clear sense of direction, another reset. And boy, have we had a lot of those under Keir Starmer. So there we go. I just wanted to say that about what's been going on in the Labour Party. But there has been more positive news over the pond, over in the United States, in the New York mayoral race, in the Democratic primary. Democratic socialist Zohran Mamdani was elected. He's going to be running for the Democrats, and fundamentally his message is really, really exciting. He's really talking up the idea that there's a cost of living crisis in the United States, and boy, is there a cost of living crisis in the United States. Very weak trade unions in the United States has meant that Real wages for the average American have been pretty stagnant going all the way back to the 1980s. So, if you're an ordinary person in America, my God, are you feeling the pinch? Despite the fact that the economy in the United States is very strong, it's all getting sucked up by the super rich. So, for me, the antidote is people like Bernie Sanders, and this fantastic candidate in New York City shows the direction the party need to go in. And I'm going to close today by showing you a fantastic video from that candidate. What he decided to do was to walk from one end of New York to another. And here's that video, or at least a section of it that I can get away with showing you for copyright reasons. So I'll leave you with that.
You have climbed 6th-floor walk-ups and braved the pouring rain to canvass our city.
Wait, we both have canvas for you. That's amazing.
Can't wait to have you here.
You have shared our message with the very New Yorkers you've lived alongside for years, but never had the chance to meet. And make no mistake, this campaign is reaching every corner of this city. I'm voting for you!
Oh my gosh. I love volunteering for you. Thank you.
To everyone who pulls me aside to whisper with the best intentions, you have already won. I am sorry, but the days of moral victories are over. Because this is a campaign that is going to win on June 24th. And it's thanks to each and every one of you.
All right, where are we headed?